Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Now, if you recall in video 1, we talked a bit about a car stereo, car air freshener, car related business that you could begin with. We didn't get much into the calculations of it because I wanted to actually, put some notes down on paper and then we could actually review them together. So the first thing that we have to realize, we set a financial target of 100,000 shillings, which was a monthly target. That was what we were intending to raise from the sale of whatever car equipment, car parts, or even cars that we could get. And in a nutshell, we actually talked about the number of the value of item that you would sell times the number of units that you need to sell in order to reach that 100,000. Now, in this day and age, for you to actually be compliant with the government, you have to factor in whatever it is that you're selling may be vatable. And so it's always prudent to actually add a 16% to whatever it is that you're hoping to get, so that you do not actually eat into your margins later on. So what it is that I have done is out of the 100,000 shillings, I have added a 16% VAT, which comes to about 16,000. And so we have 116,000 shillings we're working with. Now, I want us to actually look at a couple of business ideas that you can undertake, within your suburb, within your locality, that doesn't require you to spend so much money, and that qualifies under the non-innovative, the normal businesses that you could actually undertake. This is really for the person who intends to start a business and doesn't even know where to start and what kind of, even investable money that you need to actually have. We started by looking at 100,000 shillings, and in this case, I'm going to work with 116,000 shillings, which is 100,000 shillings plus 16% VAT. That's the revenue that we must make per month in order to reach our financial goal, which we set based on the revenue and based on an easy idea that we can begin with. You needed to actually have a product that would give you money at the least amount of effort. So in essence, you would need a product that has an expiry date, or a product that you can resell, either to resell to multiple people or to referrals, or to resell to that same customer. If we take stereos, car stereos for instance, once a car has a stereo, you will never need that stereo again. So then that kind of an item may be a high value item to start with, 15,000 to 35,000, or even upwards of that. But you're only going to sell it once to that particular customer. On the other side, you can look at how many vehicles would crisscross your path that you can sell this service to. So of course, the numbers may actually make sense if you do that calculation on a volume basis. But then for the amount of effort you take to convince one person, and you can actually sell this person an item and constantly resell that person a second and a third and a fourth item. In my view, that would be the best way to do. I mentioned about our chicken business in episode 2, and you might want to actually head over there and watch that video first and understand how we actually went from being an offline business to a digital business, and to also diversifying our products. Starting up with, say, an air freshener or tires or selling cars may require a bit of money. So you don't want to spend money fast without having identified, is this actually going to make me money? And so the financial target that we are working with is 116,000. So I want us to actually look at a couple of business ideas that we may have that, depending on the number of units you need to sell, then we can consider that. So to get to 100,000, we can sell 1,000 items, 100 shillings each. It could be you want to sell a watch, a cheap watch. You may want to sell a handkerchief. Share in the comments what you think can be a product between the 0 to 100 shillings range that you can sell 1,000 times within the same month to be able to actually reach your financial target. We are working with around 24-25 days in a month. So therefore, if you're doing 100,000, of course, if you divide that by 25, it means you have to sell at least 40 items every single day. So a fast moving product, or you want a product that you're able to sell only a couple of volumes per week for you to be able to eventually meet your financial target. If we break it down, 100,000 every week is about 25,000. If you add VAT, it's about 28,000. You want a fast-moving product, so you're choosing a lower value product that has the capability to be able to move. And you can sell this to car owners, because most of them are mostly guys who, in one way or the other, will have that 500 shillings lying around, or may be impressed with your product while they're waiting for their car to get washed, or they are at a barber shop and etc. If we were to sell an item worth 1,000 shillings, we would only need to sell 100 units, which is far less work than selling 1,000 units. So if we are selling an item at 1,000 shillings, what would that item be? Of course, watches qualify, the air fresheners qualify, earphones, phone covers, we can look at even clothing, t-shirts and the like. We can look at blazers, trousers. Some will go above that 1,000 shillings. In order for us to attain 116,000, we need to sell 116 items at 1,000 shillings. We need to sell 58 items if the value of that item is 2,000 shillings. If the value of the item is 4,000 shillings, we only need to sell 29 items. If the value of an item is 8,000 shillings, then we need to sell 15 items. If the value of an item is 30,000 shillings, we need four and a half. Yeah. So let's call it 5 items within the same month. Remember, when you're selling, the time and effort taken on selling one unit might actually be almost the same effort and time spent to sell 100 units. So you have to choose your time and you have to choose your product well. Again, each product comes with a cost. So the higher the cost, of course, it means that you have to dig deeper into your pocket. Now, for us to attain that, it means that we are looking at items between 0 to 8,000 shillings. And between the 2,000 and the 4,000 shillings mark, clothing, yeah, watches and phone accessories, chargers and the like. Of course, we have food stuff, we have shoes, cakes and the like. If we go a bit higher from 4,000 to 8,000 shillings, of course, shopping is part of that. Alcohol, there is alcohol within that. I mean, when you look at your monthly budget, how much money do you spend on alcohol? Per week, you may be spending 1,000 shillings or 2,000 shillings, or per weekend. And that qualifies for about 4,000, 5,000 shillings per month. The music systems I had mentioned before, you can decide to buy a whole mbuzi. It costs around that much. You can decide to set up a car wash. I mean, when you look at the number of cars that you can service within a month, one vehicle can come for a car wash 4 times in a month. And that means if you're charging at 250 shillings, that's 1,000 shillings, you get the drift. So above the 8,000 shillings, of course, shopping is always there. So in terms of what it is that you can buy over and above shopping, phones, you can buy computers and other hardwares, you can buy trackers, TVs, fridge, house, and other home appliances. You could decide also to set up a business that gives you that much money. And in this case, you can look at restaurants, you can look at gyms, you can look at car wash. Again, the amount of money you inject, if for a high value item, then you have to put in much more for you to be able to extract that value. So then, keeping that in mind, then we have to ask ourselves, what is that business idea that you can sell from the 0 to 1,000 shillings mark, to the 1,000 to the 5,000 mark, 5,000 to 8,000 mark. Again, remember, it takes the same amount of effort for you to be able to sell this particular item. You can decide you want to sell 1,000 items, or you can decide you want to sell 4 items. Then it opens up, your mind to so many business ideas based on what customers buy on a day-to-day basis, valued differently. So you have to remember that in order for you to make 116,000, you need to either sell 116 items at 1,000 shillings, or you need to sell 58 items at 2,000 shillings, 15 items at 8,000 shillings, 7 items at 16,000, 4 something at 30,000 shillings. Put down all the things that you buy. If you were to spend 1,000 shillings, what would you get for 1,000 shillings? If you were to spend 4,000 shillings, what would you get for that? To spend 10,000 shillings, what would you get for that? And then from there, then you can make a decision as to how many items I must sell of this, of the total number of items that I have chosen. Which item resonates mostly with me? What do people know me about? Once we have identified the list of items, we have to look at what item predominantly features across board. Whether it's 1,000, the below 1,000, the 2,000 to 4,000 mark, the 4,000 to 8,000 mark, the 8,000 and onwards mark. Then you may want to consider a business that shall provide you an umbrella through which you can sell multiple items. So instead of them getting to only 116,000 on that one item, then consider that the multiplier effect can be, if I just sold a second item, then I am at 232,000 shillings. So if you have much more money, then you can consider setting up something like a car wash that appears across board, that will automatically sell, number one, the service, which is the cleaning service. Then you have also upsold the car fresheners. You've also looked at, does this car has music systems? You have promoted that product to this particular driver. You've also looked at what else can I fit within my periphery to accommodate this person who drove in, and as they are waiting for their car to get cleaned, which may take within an hour or two, depending on the kind of service that the car came in for. Then you can consider setting up a barber shop. You can consider having the electronics bits that, the music systems, the chargers, the flash drives, and the like. You can also look at nyama choma. Yeah, and that's why you always find around a popular restaurant, you always find a car wash. You can always decide that I don't want to sell all these items. Why don't I set up a supermarket? And then all these items that I've identified that customers buy on a regular can come in and buy from my shop. And so it will just be a matter of how much money do I have to get started. It's mainly about what is that item that you can sell that customers are buying, whether or not, without much thought. Yeah. And secondly, the value of your time, the time spent, and thirdly, of course, capital. In the next episode, we shall be looking at how you can raise capital and possibly how then do you start the business. Now you have figured out, I want to get into this kind of line. I encourage you to actually take a piece of paper, write down all the list of items between the 0 to 1,000 shillings, the 1,000 to 2,000 shillings, the 2,000 to 4,000, 4,000 to 8,000, 8,000 to onward, that you can actually sell and that you personally buy. Then secondly, think about what do people hear or know about me, or what is that thing that when I go to a crowd, I'm always talking about that. Now, once you have identified that, put it down and find out what is the common item that appears in almost all price ranges. And thirdly, try and see if you can put more products under one roof. And so, in essence, what you're doing is that you're building, in as much as you may not start with every single business, you're building an idea that can grow with time. You can always once you get more money, you can always increase to that next item. You can increase to that other product that you want. And so you have a diversified portfolio even before you figure out what your niche product is. We shall be looking at the location, because that's key. We shall be looking again at your branding, how you present yourself. Look forward to bringing experts to just look at a couple of other businesses, and especially interviews with people who are doing these kind of businesses. Let me know in the comments what it is that you'd want me to start, or what kind of a calculation that you'd want me to get deeper into, and I'll get right onto it. Remember to subscribe. There are a couple of other videos that we've posted previously. Be sure to check it out. Till the next time, take care.